This man was one of the biggest slave traders and slave owners in history, and it's not really spoken about. And if you're Congolese or East African, you need to pay attention because this guy played a huge part of your history. This is Tippu Tip, and he was a Swahili Zanzibari slave trader, but also an ivory trader. And in the mid to late 1800s, this man was responsible for supplying slaves to the Ottomans, the Arabs, the Belgians. Now, most of these slaves came from the Belgian Congo, which were owned by, all of these nationalities that I mentioned. And Tippu Tip himself would lead expeditions into Congo with his army of men. And they would basically raid villages, enslave people, bring them back to Zanzibar along with the ivory. And as time would tell, he became very prosperous and very respected. And after the Berlin Conference of 1884, which was basically when all the European countries basically divided Africa, he claimed the entire Eastern Congo to himself and the Sultan of Zanzibar. And by 1895, he owned 7 plantations and over 10,000 slaves. Now, at the time, he had a lot of, frequent tension in the Congo, as you would imagine, because many people were enslaved and forced to work in harsh conditions. And a lot of these tensions ended up escalating into the Arab-Congo War. He teamed up with this guy called Ngongo Luteta, who himself was a former slave. And he did this because he thought that his power was dwindling, Europeans were creeping in, and he wanted more slaves. And between them, they captured and sold between 50 to 100,000 slaves.